Hello everyone. In this video, we will be exploring the structure and working of a device called junction field effect transistor, abbreviated as JFET. Before diving into this topic, we will first recall some basics about semiconducting material and PN junction. As we know, P-type semiconductor is made when pure semiconductors like silicon or germanium are doped with trivalent elements having 3 electrons in the outermost orbit. Some of the examples of trivalent elements are boron, gallium, indium, and aluminum. As you can see in this diagram, with each trivalent element atom there exists one hole. So, with the increase in doping, the number of holes in such material will increase. Hence, P-type materials have more number of holes as compared to free electrons. We also know that N-type semiconductor is made when pure semiconductors like silicon or germanium are doped with pentavalent elements having 5 electrons in the outermost orbit. Some of the examples of pentavalent elements are arsenic, phosphorus, and antimony. As you can see in this diagram, with each pentavalent element atom, there exists one free electron. So, with the increase in doping, the number of free electrons in such material will increase. Hence, N-type materials have more number of free electrons as compared to holes. As we have pointed out, P-type material is having more number of holes and N-type material is having more number of free electrons. Now let's talk about what will happen if we connect these two materials together. As you can see in this diagram, the electron will cross the junction and approach the hole because of attraction force. This atom losing the electron at N side will become positive ion, and the atom accepting that electron at P side will become a negative ion. So likewise, with each electron crossing the junction, there will be a generation of positive ion at N side and negative ion at P side. That will build a wall at the junction. This movement of electrons continues like this until there exists a strong wall opposing the electron movement. This wall at the junction is called depletion region. Notice one thing here, we did not connect any external battery. So even with no external battery connected, there exists a small depletion region at the junction because of the electron movement as discussed in previous slide. Now if we apply reverse bias externally, then with the increase in reverse bias voltage, the width of depletion region will increase, as you can examine from this diagrams. So as a summary, we need to remember these points. First is, electrons are majority charge carriers in N-type semiconductor. Second is, holes are majority charge carriers in P-type semiconductor. Third is, there will be a small depletion region at PN junction under unbiased condition. That means even if we are not connecting any external battery, there exists a small depletion region. And the fourth point to be remembered is the width of depletion region will increase with the increase in externally applied reverse voltage. So with this much of basic knowledge, let's try to build something interesting. Let's look at a water tap which you find at your home. As you can see here, the water is coming from this side and moving towards this side. the flow of water is being controlled by this knob. So if you rotate this knob clockwise, it will go down, causing more path blockage, which results in reduction in water flow, as you can notice from this GIF. And if you rotate it anti-clockwise, it will cause less path blockage, which results in increase in water flow. We can call this point a source of water, this point as a sink or drain point, and this point as a gate that controls the flow of water. This is the simplified view of water tap mechanism discussed earlier. In this diagram, as you can see, if the gate is down, the path is blocked and water cannot flow from source to sink. And if the gate is up, then there is a path for the water to flow from source to sink. Now let's try to build a device which will be working the same way as this water tap mechanism. Let's take one bar made of N-type semiconducting material. Now, as we have seen earlier, N-type material will be having electrons as majority charge carriers. Now, if we connect this bar with a battery like this, then the electrons, being negative charge particles, will move towards positive terminal of the battery. This resembles to the pipe through which water was flowing. Here there is a flow of electrons instead of water. In this case, this terminal is the source of electrons and this point will be considered as the drain point. The path through which electrons will be flowing is called channel, and here in this case the channel is made of N-type material. As we know, we use this knob to control the flow of water. Now let's see what we can do to control the flow of electrons in this case. Let's take that N bar again, but this time we are not connecting it to a battery because we want to examine how we can control the path available for the electrons to flow. Okay. So now let's diffuse two small p regions at both the sides. As we have discussed earlier, in PN junction under unbiased condition case, there will be a small depletion region at both these PN junctions even if we do not apply any external reverse bias. If you notice, the path available for the electrons to flow from bottom terminal to top terminal has been narrowed down. Now, if we connect a battery here to make these two PN junctions reverse biased, then the width of depletion region will increase, which will in turn reduce the width of channel again. The width of depletion regions at both these junctions will be same as we have applied same voltage to them. If we further increase the reverse voltage, then at some point these two depletions will touch each other, which will block the path available for the electrons to flow, making the current zero. So by applying reverse voltage, we are controlling the width of depletion region, which will in turn control the width of channel available for the electrons to flow. This terminal can be named as gate as it controls the path. It resembles to the knob we have discussed earlier in water tap analogy. The voltage applied between gate and source terminal can be marked as VGS. Hence, applied reverse voltage VGS will control the drain current ID, which will be flowing through the channel. This device is named as junction field effect transistor because The field effect occurring at the junctions controls the amount of current flowing through the channel. Note one thing here, we have not connected any voltage source between drain and source terminal. We are just talking about the effect of changing VGS on the channel width which is available for the electrons to flow. Now, to have the flow of electrons from source to drain, if we connect a battery as VDS like this, then the shape of depletion regions will be affected. We will see the effect of connecting VDS on depletion region shape in next lecture. Now let's look at one more generic example to help you out in understanding the working principle of JFET. Consider this flexible rubber pipe. If you do not apply any external pressure using your palm, then maximum water will flow from the rubber pipe. But if you apply some inward pressure, then the water flow will be reduced. And if you apply extreme inward pressure, then the water will not flow. This is exactly what happens in JFET. So, as a summary, when VGS is 0, there will be a small depletion region. As you can see, the channel width available is maximum, so maximum current will flow. But if you apply some reverse voltage at VGS, say minus 3 volts, then the width of depletion region will increase, as you can examine from these two diagrams. As you can notice, the channel width available in this case is small as compared to previous one, so a reduced current will flow through this channel. And if you increase the reverse voltage at VGS, say minus 6 volts, then the depletion regions will touch each other and there will be no path for the electrons to flow. Hence, the current ID will be 0. If we plot a graph of change in VGS versus change in ID, then it will look something like this. As you can see, the current is maximum when VGS is 0. It will start reducing with the increase in reverse voltage VGS, and at this point the current will be 0 as both the depletions have touched each other. This VGS versus ID graph is called transfer characteristics of JFET. The value of VGS for which drain current ID becomes 0 is called cutoff voltage. It is referred as VGS off. I hope you understood the things I have tried to explain in this video. In case of any query, feel free to comment down below. I will try to resolve it as soon as possible. Thank you.